much.
Listen, you want any good financial advice? Wu-Tang Financial.
Wu-Tang
Diversify
Financial.
your bonds.
Yeah, right.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by Christopher Michael and Robert Evan, discussing everything from relationships to everyday life struggles, culture, and much more.
What's up, Robbie? Welcome back to Florida.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, my man?
So how was your flight?
Oh, fuck you. It was good.
All right. It's a good way to start.
Yeah, no, it was good. I got here. No problem. I fucking love White Plains Airport. Or Westchester Airport, I guess they call it.
Yeah, or HPN.
HPN.
What is it? Hudson something? I don't know what the fuck HPN stands for.
I don't know.
I don't know what was wrong with Westchester Airport.
Yeah.
You know?
You think they could have taken 3 letters from that?
Maybe Hudson, Putnam.
Westchester County Airport, WCA. I'm
How
assuming there's a WCA.
How do you get HPN from that, though?
What's Fort Lauderdale?
FLL.
What's
PBI.
What's Palm Beach International?
Palm Beach International, yeah. And then somehow Westchester came out with HPN.
JFK, you can figure out. LGA, you can figure out.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is like Hudson Valley, Putnam, Nanuet.
Nanuet.
What else would it be?
Just a random town in Rockland County.
I guess. I mean, the Hudson Valley, Putnam County, and Rockland, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm glad to be down here, man. It's cold as shit in New York.
So we're in our nice new studio.
Yeah. Yeah, feeling a little bougie.
Come a long way, you know?
Yeah.
Nice new sign, nice new studio.
Hot white cream always rises to the top, baby.
That's right. Well, hopefully all our viewers enjoy the new scenery.
Yeah, no, it's nice, man. I'm very, very, very happy.
A little less dark for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was getting a little morbid.
We have windows.
We have window. Too bad you guys can't see the view.
I know.
It is a great view.
It is an awesome view.
It actually is.
What is that, the Intercoastal?
It's the Intercoastal, yeah.
Yeah, see, I know Florida shit now.
You know what an Intercoastal is?
Dude, I'm like a native son of Florida.
Right.
Come get
you
some.
You just asked me where Palm Beach was 20 times.
Yeah, let's go do some meth.
Right.
Love Florida. What's going on, man? How's life? What's going on?
It's good, man. It's good. Enjoying it. Nothing too crazy. Just working on the grind as usual.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're not doing this full time yet. We're letting our audience know that we both have jobs.
And we both still have jobs, unfortunately. Yeah.
Please like and subscribe.
Right. One day.
Yeah,
one day this will be. We'll come into the studio every day, and this is what we'll do for a living. So,
could you imagine that?
I could imagine it because
I can imagine it.
I feel like it's basically what we do now. So we literally work 2 jobs to get this done.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah, I everything I do, like this is just, from day one we said this was just something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love every minute of it.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't trade it for anything. So
I'm very happy.
We make it work, we make it work for all of you.
You the people. You don't watch Always Sunny, do you?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
No.
But you know the
Big
show.
Danny DeVito fan though.
Charlie. It was a story that Charlie Day told, who plays Charlie in the show. And he was on another podcast. I think it was Rich Eisen. And he said, what's the funniest story you've heard with Danny DeVito? And he said, well, I wasn't there. But Danny DeVito told me a story where it was him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they went to a party in the 80s, and they had everyone's name spelled out with blow.
Oh,
and Schwarzenegger goes up to DeVito and goes, Danny, look how long my name is.
That's hilarious. I wonder who sniffed that line. Probably Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, dude, probably in one fucking hoof.
The big boy.
Yeah.
He's still a big boy. Fucking guy. Oh, man. So how about that Elon Musk? He was definitely not having it.
I got mixed feelings on it. So let's recap. So he liked a post which part of the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, an extremist belief that, in a nutshell, states that French and white European populations at large are a demographic that are being culturally replaced by non-white people, especially from Muslim majority countries.
Right.
So that was back in mid-November, November 15th. Then on the 28th, he backtracked his comment saying, hey, I'm stupid. I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
But at that point, essentially, Disney, IBM, Warner Brothers, Sony, Comcast, some big ballers
Right. Pulled out.
Yeah, we can't we can't advertise on this platform. And he did apologize, said, look, I think he used the term, I gave, my enemies a loaded gun.
Right.
But now it kind of like begs the question. It's not a chicken or egg argument. It's just what responsibility do sponsors have to the platforms that they're advertising on? And what responsibility do people who are accepting sponsorships owe to those sponsors?
Right.
What are your thoughts?
I think that he just doesn't give a fuck.
If you're the world's richest man.
I don't think he has to. I think he apologized. I think we also don't see what's going on behind closed doors. So I really don't know what his interactions were with them outside of that. But he's not going to let people dictate how or who he does things with. He's just not.
Right.
And he doesn't need to. Now, I'm not necessarily agreeing with how he goes about relaying that message. Should he be telling people to go fuck themselves? Probably not.
Oh, we didn't even get to that part. So then he was this was just a few days ago where he was being interviewed. And what was it for? Can you pull it up real quick? I think it was
with the New York Times.
It was the New York Times Deal Book Summit.
Right.
And he was being asked about the sponsorship.
Right.
And everyone who pulled off, and what do you say? If you're going to hold me hostage, go fuck.
He said, if you're going to try to blackmail me with ads and money, go fuck yourself.
Right.
But I agree with him. I mean, listen, it should never be done. Nobody should be hanging anything over your head to try to tell you how you should or shouldn't talk or what you should agree with. And fortunately for someone like him, he doesn't need the money. So he has the ability to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Fine.
He's not controlled by the power of a dollar because he has more of them than anybody in the world.
Right. But let's just say, so let's put the shoe on the other foot, as it were. Let's say you were the president of Disney, Bob Iger, and you're paying to advertise on a platform, and the owner of that platform is now on that platform supporting anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Right.
Would you pull?
I guess it would all depend on how I feel about what he said or if I felt his apology was sincere.
Also, Disney.
I mean,
anti-Semitism,
that's the other thing. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. It's like,
it's been a while.
Now they want to stand on moral high ground. Like, come on.
You know how much shady shit Disney's done in those underground tunnels?
Dude, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm not supporting the stuff that he says sometimes. He's very outspoken.
Yeah.
But he's a big fighter for freedom of speech. And
his platform's known for that. Yeah.
He is. And he's not going to let people dictate how his platform's ran. He's just not. He's not. And he's made that clear numerous times.
I don't disagree with that, but he also can't be shocked when he starts saying stupid shit, which he apologized for.
I don't think he is shocked. I just don't think he genuinely gives a fuck.
That's fair.
I don't think he's shocked by it. I think he fully understood the repercussions.
How are you
going to
tell somebody to go fuck themselves when you say something stupid and they're like, all right, we're taking a step back. And he's like, well, fuck you.
I think because he apologized and they continued to dig in. And at that point, he was like, well, now you can go fuck yourself.
Dig in by just not coming back?
Either not coming back or, again, we don't know what conversations were like behind closed doors. And we're never going to know. So who knows? I mean, he obviously can you pull it up, Doug? He took a shot at Bob Iger literally on the New York Times Deal Book Summit.
I hope they stop. You hope
so
don't advertise. You don't want them to advertise? No.
It's hilarious.
What do you mean? If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
He's doggy, dude. He's wild, though.
Go.
That poor bastard interviewing him.
Oh, he was shocked. See the look on his face. He didn't know what to do.
You see, he called him the wrong name, too.
Hey, Bob. If you're in the audience.
And he goes, hi, Bob.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's fuck you money.
He literally is the definition of fuck you money.
Yeah.
He doesn't need he doesn't need advertisers.
He's being interviewed by a guy, Andrew Ross Sorkin, and in the interview he goes, I'm only here because we're friends, Jonathan.
It's like, ugh. It threw him so off when he said that. He's probably like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's probably thinking like, oh, I'm going to be so fucking famous.
Oh, off that for sure. Look how many views that fucking video has already. Are you kidding me? It's blowing up the internet.
Yeah. So they said, Elon Musk said, or it was the spokesperson for X, said it's going to cost them about $75 million a month in advertising dollars,
right,
which is $900 million
right,
over the course of a year. Close to $1 billion. Now, when you're worth, what is he worth? 50, 60, 70
He can
million,
literally float that bill for the next 36 years.
and be cool.
And be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I can support the fact that X is an open platform and people should be entitled to what they believe, but at the same time, I think it goes into a slippery slope now of people being able to discuss and propagate propaganda, push their agendas further, and I think there could be a lot of downside to that as well.
People have radical views all the time. If you're not inciting violence or inciting people to do unbelievably horrific things,
you're entitled to your
your views. I mean, and it can't. I mean, obviously, no anti-Semitic things are racist either, because that will, in some degree, incite violence or some type of hate toward a culture or people, or whatever the case may be. And I don't think you should be doing that either. But I also don't think that anybody should be trying to control what someone does on a platform that they own.
Is that accurate that his net worth is $250 billion?
He was more than that. He was at $360 billion last year. Well, it's pretty wild. It just goes to show you too, a normal person would never get away with doing things that he does.
No, you're worth.
They just don't have
$250 billion.
Yeah.
Like you can.
He's wealthier than some countries.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
I don't know what our GDP is, but we Google that real quick.
Yeah, what is the GDP for the U.S.?
It's got to be in the trillions.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 23
trillion.
All right, so he's a tenth of that, or a hundredth of that, but still, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah, a hundredth of $24 trillion
of the United States GDP is pretty fucking wild, dude.
Dude,
So anyway, listen, I don't support racist or anti-Semitic rhetoric. I don't support hate speech. I don't disagree necessarily with him reacting the way that he did. If he truly felt that they were holding a gun to his head, it's his business. He can run it the way he wants, and you don't have to advertise with him. You just simply don't.
Right, but I think he's also being a bit of a bitch baby about it.
I mean, listen, probably.
Because now he's saying, well, if X fails, it's going to be because, all of the advertising dollars went away and they caused this collapse.
But it would be.
Cause and effect. They pulled away.
He apologized.
So if you drop a plate on the ground and it breaks, you say sorry to the plate. It's still fucking broken. You can apologize and you can even be sincere in your apology, but nothing's owed to you.
No, I don't think he believes it's owed to him.
And if you think that what he said is going to have a negative impact on your business, regardless of not if he said sorry, because this isn't the first time he said some wacky shit, Chris.
No, he's known for saying off the cuff things.
Well, when you're worth $250 billion, it's probably going to come out a little more often than somebody maybe starting a small mom and pop business.
I mean, listen, here's the reality. We had Donald Trump as the president of the United States. I would think we pretty much have all this out of our system by now.
You would think.
So at the end of the day, he did what he did. He apologized. People make mistakes. And I think to a degree, people probably all the time just try to have leverage over this guy in some way, shape, or form.
There was that quote from Batman I love, though, where it says, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Right.
So it's like these advertisers, I'm sure they're in that position now. Like, we don't have to do anything.
They don't.
We have no obligation. There's other places we can advertise.
There's other places. But is there really? As much success as he has.
I'll tell you this.
Are there better places?
Do we have Twitter or X?
What do you mean?
Do we use it?
I don't use it now.
So there's other means of being able to advertise effectively.
But, he's got a lot more. Listen, his name holds so much weight. I mean, his share price moves with every word that he says.
It does. And that's what scares the shit out of me in picking anything that he owns, because I told you, if he sneezes weirdly on a Thursday,
right,
it could go up or down 47%.
Right. That's when you jump in and catch the ride back up.
Oh, yeah. Or jump in and fucking lose your mortgage.
Listen, to some degree, the thing that I don't like, that I think, and I don't really think, I don't know if any businessmen really take this into account unless they're very large shareholders. But, to a degree, you don't take into consideration the shareholders of your company and, maybe the smaller shareholders who do have a lot to lose when you come out and say crazy shit like that. And you could devastate those people, right? Depending on how much money they have invested in your company.
You could ruin lives.
You could ruin lives. Now, his stock typically has a pattern of coming back, but still, most people panic and they fear sell. So at that point, you've already done damage.
Listen, you want any good financial advice, Wu-Tang Financial, diversify your bonds.
Yeah, right.
All right. If you're holding too much in one company and that company goes belly up,
well, yeah, you should never have all your eggs in one basket.
One thing, though, to be noted, and this is a bit of a condescension to me, is that Disney is a massive, massive, massive giant. They own ESPN, they own ABC, and a bunch of I'm sure a bunch of other subsidiaries. So while Disney is no longer advertising on X, both ESPN and ABC are. So it's like, do you really care? Or is this just a dick measuring thing?
No, they don't care, considering they own those companies.
Dude, he's worth $250 billion. Disney, I think, is worth probably a couple $100 billion. No one's losing sleep over the dollars.
I don't know. What is Disney's worth right now, actually?
I'd say 200.
They've taken pretty big hit over the last year.
I'm going to say 200
200 what?
billion.
I don't think so.
170.
170.
So they're doing okay too.
They're doing all right.
God, he's got $80 billion more than Disney is.
He does.
He could buy all of the Disney enterprise and still have $80 billion.
Yeah,
left.
it's pretty wild.
What'd you do if you bought Disneyland, Disney World, and put his face over all Mickey's logos?
Yeah, right. Elon Musk world.
Muskland?
Muskland. Come join us today.
He's not the only one, though. There was Theo Vaughn 2 or 3 weeks ago where he had Dana White on as a guest. And he was talking, he did Theo Vaughn on his podcast. He did an episode with RFK, Robert F. Kennedy. And Peloton had reached out and said, you got to pull the episode. And so he was talking to Dana White about it. And he was like, they can go fuck themselves. And Dana White pulled like Peloton out of all of his UFC gyms, out of all of the headquarters and everything. And they already have a new sponsor, Echelon, which is kind of a corny name.
Yeah, I know what it is, though.
Yeah, but I guess it's a stationary bike. But it's weird now that you have advertisers who sell fucking stationary bikes telling you what you can and cannot put on your platform. I agree.
They should not be injecting themselves into any business decisions. Their only business decision should be whether or not to put their ad money with or without that company.
I'll put it this way. So let's say Theo Vaughn had a
goes.
podcast where he started it and he talked about rainbows and sunshine and unicorns. Right. And that's what they signed up for. And then on episode 7, he did a hard pivot.
Pull your ads.
Right. But you knew what you were getting when you signed up for it. He hasn't changed his podcast.
Right, absolutely.
So what the fuck? Now you're saying you can and cannot air certain episodes? Get the fuck out of here.
It's censorship, and you just can't do it. You can't fucking censor what people are saying on their show or threaten to pull ads from them if they don't comply.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is, because if you have a situation where it's not Elon Musk and let's say you and I are fortunate enough one day to get a sponsorship and we do something where they say, well, we don't like that episode.
Right.
We don't like the content that you discussed. It's censorship.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and now again, it's one thing if we're going off and saying extremely radical things that are untrue, unfounded, that can cause or incite violence, whatever it may be. But if we're just talking about the shit we talk about and they say, well, we don't really like the person you had on though.
No, listen, and that's extreme. They shouldn't be saying anything, period.
Yeah.
You're an advertiser. You're a sponsor.
Yeah.
That's the extent to which your involvement should be in any company. If you don't like what it represents or what you're doing, then you pull your ads.
But I want to take the opposite approach in this
But there is no opposite approach because they really don't have any say, nor should they have any say.
They have to look out for the profit of their company.
Right. But then you pull your advertising.
Right.
You just don't work with that company.
Yeah, you don't threaten to say take it down.
You don't try to fucking censor them. Like, what are you joking? It's not your fucking business. Yeah, you want to have a conversation with them and say, hey, we're just letting you know because of the direction you're taking your show or your company, it's not a great fit for us. Now, if they at that point decide that they want to make alterations to their material to keep that advertiser, then that's up to them. But if the moment you come in and try to hang it over their heads, I agree with Elon Musk, then you can go fuck yourself. Yeah. You can have an adult conversation with me, businessman to businessman or woman to woman, but you can't try to censor me, fucking threaten me.
And now Peloton's backing up, though. They're saying that spokesperson for Peloton told Fox News that the company pulled its ads because Vaughn violated its safety guidelines, but disputed claims that Peloton told Vaughn to remove his episode. Essentially, Peloton does not want to place ads alongside, drug? Can you move your head? Love you. Drug and alcohol use, vulgar language, inappropriate things, crude humor, sexual themes, political issues, and racial issues.
That's his whole fucking show.
Right. So what the fuck do you think you signed up for?
Right.
What's different from day one to today?
Right.
Like
nothing. Nothing's changed. He hasn't changed anything. He's been talking about drugs, alcohol, vulgar language, sex, fucking midgets, everything. He's been talking about everything. The most inappropriate possible stuff you can think of. And it's fine. I mean, that's who he is. So you know what you're getting when you do anything. When you sign up with him, You know what you're getting. He doesn't pretend to be somebody else. The one thing I'll say about Theo Vaughn is he is true to himself in every possible way.
Fucking
he doesn't
love
hide
Theo Vaughn.
it. No, he's great. He doesn't hide who he is.
Dude, I send you those clips all the time. I fucking
he's great.
cry.
He's just so off the cuff and at a left.
So quick.
I love it.
That guy, his friend, who was talking about trying to commit suicide with the vitamins. He goes, "Would you get better?"
Would you?
Like, dude, like Jesus Christ, that's an aggressive thing to say.
Yeah, no, he says some pretty wild stuff. But
I love him though. He's got such a good heart, man.
No, he's great. Listen, at the end of the day, listen, there's a difference between joking around and being serious.
All right, so let me push the extreme then. Kanye,
Kanye's a moron.
Yeezy. Right? He said some fucked up stuff. What was it? I don't even think he said DEF CON. I think he said Death Con 3 on Jewish people. And then you had Balenciaga, Gap, and then obviously Adidas, which had his...
well, Balenciaga basically had child pornography in one of their ads.
Oh, they're advertising, right?
Fucking ridiculous.
And then you have Adidas. And it's like, really, Adidas? You're
well, he basically said that he
Adidas?
doesn't need Adidas. Kanye said he doesn't need Adidas.
Yeah, and then Adidas pulled their deal, and
Right.
he went from, what, 2-3 billion net
But you
worth to
see,
400
look how
million?
simple that was. There wasn't some big fucking threat hanging over his head. They didn't like what he said. It fucked with their brand, and they pulled.
It fucked with
That was
their
it.
money.
They didn't try to censor him. They just ripped their fucking advertising from him, and that's the extent of what it should be.
Right. Don't
There's
don't
no-
tell me to do this. Don't tell me
Right.
to cut that. Don't tell me to not air that.
Right.
If I did something that offends you and you feel it violates your guidelines
Right.
of how you want to work with advertisers, then okay.
Right.
You have every right to do it.
Right. If you want to have a discussion about it, you can have a discussion about it, but don't expect that I'm going to change what I do.
Yeah.
So that you feel better at night.
Yeah.
That's all. Either you're with me or you're not. You know who I am. Now, if somebody says something racist or anti-Semitic or something really outrageous, then that's different. But if you already know what you're getting with somebody and they're consistent to that, you can't just jump in because you simply don't like the content of one particular
Right.
thing that they said.
But there's a difference though between Kanye and Elon.
Yeah, Kanye's a Looney Tune.
Exactly. And Elon said, I fucked up. Like I shouldn't have said what I know was wrong.
Right.
He didn't double down on what he said. He said, I know what I said was wrong, but if you're threatening to pull money away from me because of that, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Whereas Kanye was like, let's triple down, motherfucker.
He's a wild dude.
Yeah, dude, I don't want
Well, listen, he rolled the dice and he lost. That was it. He crapped out.
What was the first big one I can think of was Lance Armstrong when he got busted for cheating.
Yeah, guys.
Is it Nike?
I don't like it. What are these people thinking, dude?
But I remember though, here's the
Like,
thing
what
with
the
Lance
fuck
Armstrong.
is going
though.
through your head?
All right, so here's the thing. Here's the thing with any of them. One, it doesn't affect me in any capacity. Well, Lance Armstrong, guy rode a bicycle, right? He raised what, $500 million for cancer research, and then you're looking at him like, oh, I can't believe you cheated, dude. Have you seen their calves and thighs after a stage in the Tour de France? These guys look like fucking lab rats. Like they're insane.
Right.
You surprised he was cheating? Oh, he
Listen,
didn't do it legitimately.
You can't give someone a pass simply because they raised money for a charity.
I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying I don't give a shit. At the end of the
Right.
day, the only result the only way it affected me, I shouldn't even say affected me, God willing, it's never going to. He raised $500 million for cancer research.
I understand that, but
I'm not
he
justifying
also
what he did.
took away the potential opportunity for other competitors to be elite in their sport.
But then they had the doping scandal with bicycling or cycling.
Right.
They're all fucking cheating. And I'm not justifying his actions.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't give a shit.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, it doesn't affect you because you're not a
Riding a
participant
bicycle
in
because I'm
his
an
sport.
adult.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I guess that's how you look at bicycling. Well, yeah, no, it's not right in any sport, period.
Yeah, when he get cut from Nike and I think it was Budweiser or Anheuser.
I think you get cut from just about everybody.
Yeah, I can't imagine that too many people were like, let's hold on to this one.
No, I mean, dude, listen, it's the ultimate violation in sports.
Cheating.
Right.
There's
period.
yeah.
And you should be ashamed of yourself as an athlete.
But other athletes have come back from cheating.
Yeah, they have, not easily, and very few ever come back to this previous success that they had.
I can't think, though, of one notable MLB player who's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you're pretty much out at that point.
Clemens isn't in. Still, these are players who I can think of off the top of my head who
McGuire.
statistically should be in or not. Clemens,
McGuire.
Bonds, McGuire, Palmeiro. Sosa. Those are the big five off the top of my head.
Because you'll always have an asterisk next to your name.
Yeah.
And you'll never know what
But
they
don't
would.
you want to see a guy hit a ball 550 feet?
If the playing field was equal and everybody could do it, then that's different.
What if everybody did it and they banned everybody?
They did ban it for everybody. And
No, I'm saying if
they
all
did,
the players are doing
they
it
were
at
all
once.
doing it before they
Right,
banned
what was
it.
it? The clear? That was I think it
Yeah,
was called the clear. Didn't they get it down here in Florida?
I don't know. I mean, there was a time where it was even in bodybuilding, like in Arnold Schwarzenegger's day.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't. You were allowed to.
It's shocker. Those guys are juiced. That's not natural.
I still don't think it's natural.
No.
No.
You see any of those guys? Like, I'm going to let you in a little secret. I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't know if you could tell,
Right.
but I could tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shocking.
Shocking.
I fucking have a B cup over here.
Seriously.
But I know those guys are all juicing.
I didn't even know. You have 2 Nike checks in your shirt?
Yeah.
Is that normal? Or is that like a outlet special?
Off-white motherfucker. Get woke. You stupid ass
Aventura
Walmart.
outlets.
Your Walmart Bob Marley shirt.
It's the red tag special. They put an extra check mark on, so they discounted
I was
it
gonna
down.
make a fucked up comment and I didn't. No.
Oh,
Still working on that for sponsorship, folks.
Yeah. We'll promise you we won't tell you to go fuck yourselves.
That should be our slogan.
Bring them our way.
A company that won't tell you to go fuck yourself.
Right. Not for nothing. Advertise here.
We left
Listen.
off with everyone cheating. I mean, dude, I would love if sports mandated that you took steroids.
First off, it's not healthy at all.
First off,
It causes
stop being a
heart
bitch.
disease.
Stop being a bitch.
Bitch. Look at fucking what's his name? The
Bro.
bodybuilder fucking what's the
Ronnie Coleman?
Ronnie Coleman. Look what it did to him, dude. Fucking destroyed
I'm
him.
not talking about weightlifting. I'm talking about NFL.
But
5 years.
Wait a
Just
second.
for
Stop.
5 years.
You're saying you're not talking about Ronnie Coleman. Forget about. It's not about Ronnie Coleman.
Okay,
it's
first
about
off-
the effects that it has on your body.
5 years. Do it for 5 years.
It's horrible for you, dude.
Horribly good
It's why do you think it's a controlled substance?
because it's great.
No, because if it's abused, it can cause death.
Yeah, listen.
Causes liver disease, heart disease.
I want to see a defensive end run a 4.140.
Yeah,
I want to see a 300-pound monster
right.
rip someone's fucking
Those
arm
guys
off.
typically aren't the ones that lean towards steroids, though.
NFL players?
No, that position in the NFL.
The
Those
end?
big 300-pound fucking DNs or fucking
No, but I
linemen.
want all of the linemen, defensive and offensive linemen. I want them 340 pounds,
Right.
running 4.240s.
They have no reason
Just
to. They run in
yoking
place.
fucking. I want them lift like. And remember NFL blitz?
Right.
I want that shit.
Yeah, but they don't go anywhere. They run a total of 10 yards.
They're on
if
a
that.
trap block.
10 yards, if that, every play.
So you're
If
right. You
they're
know what? You're
lucky.
right.
If they're
Everyone
lucky.
should be juicing then. I want the quarterback.
The playing field would need to be completely even.
I
to
want
use
the
it.
quarterback to throw the ball 140 yards.
Right. I wonder what is the furthest quarterback throw. Look, Doug, can you pull up what's the furthest
We're going to abuse the shit out of Doug making him look
Throw.
shit up.
of an NFL quarterback, not
In the
just
air?
throw.
In the air, I'd say around 80
during
yards.
a game. It's got to be during a game.
First throw,
I'm going to say like 90 yards,
I'd say 80.
76 yards. Wow. Still
That's
some fucking rocket, dude.
That's a hell of an arm. Who did it? Randall Cunningham.
Yeah. 1993.
What was that? The American Football League.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he was on the
Wow.
Vikings, wasn't he?
He was. Well, no. Apparently
Eagles?
the Eagles in 93. Oh, no. It wasn't Cunningham on the Vikings, actually. Maybe Culpepper was on the Vikings, I think.
That's what I'm thinking of. Dante
Dante
Culpepper.
Culpepper, yeah.
Brett Favre.
And what's Brett Favre's? 75. Oh, close. Almost made it.
He probably threw it sidearm on one foot.
That's what he is right there. He's on one foot.
From sidearm. Cordell Stewart had a fucking cannon.
Yeah, 73.
Josh Allen, number 5.
80, but see, not during a game, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot different when the pressure's off, fellas.
Yeah, when you have a 6'7", 700-pound lineman coming at you.
Yeah.
That's what we need, man.
It's hard to get an 80-yard bomb.
Yoke them all up, my man.
First off, who you even throwing in it? Who the fuck is even getting down 80 yards in the field
Well, that's
for you
why
to throw that bomb?
that's why wide receivers need steroids. So they
Right,
can be
is that
faster.
why?
Yeah. Yes. So they can run 90 yards in 6.5 seconds.
Well,
Do they still do it during the Pro Bowl? They have like the skills competition? Because I remember back in the day, they used to have like who could throw like the quarterbacks. I remember it was I believe it was Cordell Stewart. It wasn't Drew Brees. Cordell Stewart, Brett Favre was in it. Jim Harbaugh.
I don't know if they still do. If they still do it, they don't publicize it well.
The skills comp, because no one watches the Pro Bowl,
Right.
Because it's, no one wants to get hurt. No one wants to blow an Achilles.
It's because nobody's really in it.
Right.
Right.
Well, you have the 2 Super Bowl teams who, do they do it after? Do they do it?
Oh, they would do it after, I would imagine.
They used to do it the week before. But if you were in the Super Bowl, obviously you didn't play in it.
Right.
But now you run a serious risk, because if you blow out your fucking knee in a Pro Bowl.
Oh, I'm sure. Anytime those guys, even when they scrimmage, they run the risk of getting injured for the season.
Right. These guys, now you're talking about, and it's been past 5 or 10 years or so, you can have college quarterbacks who are in bowl games. They won't play in a bowl game.
Well, that's why they do a lot of second string and pre-games.
Because they don't want to risk it.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to risk the first string. They give them warm-ups in the first couple of quarters, and then they take them out.
Have you been to an NFL game?
Yes.
Where'd you go? Meadowlands?
I don't remember where I went, actually. It was a Jets game. Is that the Meadowlands?
Yeah, well,
it is a Meadowlands.
Now it's MetLife.
Yeah, it might have been MetLife, though. It wasn't that long ago. Why I went to a Jets game, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I grew up with friends who had season tickets.
Yeah, it's sad. Sad team. Sad team.
Oh, I heard
sad year for the fans.
I was listening to the radio early this morning on the way to the car, or on the way to the airport, and I heard your friend on the radio.
Who?
From your team, from your date. The NFL player.
Oh, yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on the radio.
Oh, we're so far removed from that now. I mean, you're talking
20-something years.
Almost 20 years ago now. No, well, not 20. 16. But up there. A long
16,
time. When you fucking
years.
think about it. A long time.
Yeah.
16 fucking years.
But I loved going to games when I was younger, but now it's such a fucking process. It's such a hassle.
What is?
Going to a game, right? If you want to buy an NFL ticket, what do they cost? $250 now?
No, I don't go to a lot of NFL games, so I'm not really too sure.
It's
probably close to that.
Plus you pay $50-$60 for parking, right? Plus you're going to pay for food once you're inside the stadium.
I went just for the tailgating when I went.
That's the reason to go.
That was it.
But then, you get out, and right now the Giants and Jets have been so bad for so long, and they're probably going to get their asses kicked.
So happy the Giants suck.
If you go to the Meadowlands anytime in November on,
right.
It's a fucking wind tunnel. It's cold. It's probably raining. You're miserable. Your team's probably going to lose. You're going to spend a shit ton of money, and then it's going to take you 3 hours in traffic to get home.
Right.
Or I could sit on my couch. I got a 65-inch TV. Could order wings. Get up and pee. Get up and pee when I want to go pee, and not spend $700 and be hungover on a Monday.
Oh, that's how I feel. That's why I watch UFC at home. Although I would watch UFC in person a lot if I had more opportunities to do it.
I won tickets to it.
Did you go?
Oh yeah, with my buddy John.
Did you go with Joe and Mikey?
No, I think they went to the one at MSG, right?
They did. Yeah, went to MSG.
I went to was it Prudential Center? But it was dope.
You went to the one at Prudential Center.
Yeah,
they went to the one at MSG.
It was on Opie and Anthony. And they had a couple who I guess used to travel and go to all of them. They couldn't. They put their tickets up, and I called in and I got the tickets for it.
Right.
And I went with my buddy John from college, and we saw, was it Frank Mir? Got the shit kicked out of my think by Shane Carwin.
Yep.
Who was a fucking lumberjack.
He's a big boy.
And then George St. Pierre, which was just cool to see.
Who did he fight though?
He fought an English kid with a mohawk. I can't remember the kid's name.
He was an announcer, I think. Now he's an announcer.
The English guy? Yeah, but it was cool to be able to say you saw those guys.
Fuck, what's his name?
Well,
he's not now. He got fired. He was an announcer for the UFC.
The English kid.
Yeah.
Sure, we could find out the.
Who was the announcer that fought GSP? Just go to UFC announcer history. Fired. He was one of the most recent people, probably the only one fired in the last 2-3 years.
Did he get fired for doing some egregious or just
he
layoffs?
He interfered with a fight by addressing one of the ring judges, not judges, the referee.
In the middle of the fight?
Yeah, he may have said something after he was. Yeah, it might have been. He started up in the middle of the fight, I believe. Yes.
No, it wasn't Goldberg. He's been around. I think he's gone now.
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
That's who it was. Yeah, GSP just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, basically I forgot what he said. He was saying something. He didn't agree with the ref allowing the fight to continue going.
He said it as it was happening?
Well, he said it, loud enough. And then he got into it with the actual ref after the fight, like out of his chair, like arguing with him. And that was it.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
No, he should have never done that.
You can have exactly. You're entitled to your opinion,
right.
But you're an announcer.
Yeah,
you're not a referee. You're not a judge. You're not a scorecard official. You can have your opinion, but just don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Right. No, he lost his job because of it. So
Dana White has no fucks to give either.
Well, I mean, in that regard, though, he was warranted for doing what he did. I mean, firing him, though.
Oh, and letting him go?
Yeah, I mean, you should never interfere with a fight before, during, or after. I mean, it's not your place.
You're a commentator.
Right. You can commentate the fight. Right.
Yeah.
You want to give an opinion, you give an opinion, but you don't get into the face of the person refereeing.
Right.
I mean, the fighters didn't even do that.
Do you think even like having an opinion? So a commentator, do you think I shouldn't say they shouldn't have an opinion? You got to check it though, to a certain extent. You can't come out swinging willy nilly.
It depends. I mean, some of them are harsher than others.
I guess if it's an egregious call, like let's just say hypothetically, there was a fight that's extremely lopsided. Let's say it's a 3-round fight and they score 29-27, all for the person that should have gotten the shit kicked out.
The commentators dig into them always.
Yeah.
Oh, they rip into the judges all the time. They still rip into the judges constantly in the UFC because they suck. They do.
You see boxing too. You didn't watch the
Yeah, boxing's they're not as bad. It's the point system in the UFC that they probably should change.
It's also 3 rounds versus 10.
Where right, boxing, they go off the 3-point must system, but there's a lot more involved in the UFC. Boxing is boxing.
Boxing also goes 10 rounds for
right.
So you have a little more room for error, I guess. Where if you could,
you do
fuck up a round,
right? If you miss a round one way, you might not cost somebody the fight. If you miss one round in a 3-round fight,
it's a problem.
Probably going to cost someone the fight.
Yeah,
or you're going to cause a draw that didn't need to be a draw.
Have you seen those lopsided victories? And you're like, what the fuck fight was I watching? Like, I'm not a judge, I'm not an official.
What you mean? Were they clearly lost and they won?
So bad.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them.
Numerous.
Yeah,
we are just like, there's got to be a fixing, man.
I don't know if it's a fix or just. It's tough,
be
man.
A vetting process
I think they just don't
guys.
know. I think some of these guys just don't know what they're looking at, and I think some of them. The problem is they put some of these guys put more weight into certain parts of the fight than others, as far as what they were doing, whether it's grappling, striking, leg damage versus head damage. I don't know. I don't know what their exact system is.
Yeah.
Other than it's a 10-point must system.
10-point what's it called?
10-point must system.
Must, M-U-S-T?
Yeah. So
you essentially start with 10 and
10-9, 10-8. Could go. I think they can go as low as 10-7, which you never see.
That would be like if you got knocked down and got a
you'd have to get knocked
you.
down a couple. Yeah, I'm right. Or lost a point, then it could happen for sure. Maybe multiple knockdowns in a round.
Hard to come back from 10-7.
Yeah, you're down 3 rounds almost already. Yeah,
it's a hard one to come back.
It's pretty much done.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't really know. But yeah, I don't know what they're looking at sometimes. It fucking baffles me.
What do you watch mostly now?
UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love UFC.
You still watch boxing?
I do.
Oh.
It's not like it used to be. There's just not. I don't want to say there's no talent in there because I don't want to insult the boxers. Obviously, there's talent in the boxing world, just not what it used to be. And I just don't feel like they promote the fights as good as they used to. Unless you're Anthony Joshua or fucking Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, then of course.
Dude, I remember being a kid and even at like 10, 11 years old getting so fucking hyped up Tyson fights.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Like those were the biggest deals in the world.
Right. Those are the days though. That's when boxing was, to me, at its height.
I do like the Gypsy King though.
Oh, Tyson Fury is the best.
Yeah, he's
really
a sweetheart, man. I like him.
He's just amazing how good he is. Ngannou gave him a good fight though.
Yeah.
Put him on his butt.
Considering Ngannou's never boxed before.
Yeah, you almost wonder though. He says he didn't take him lightly. I don't think he took him lightly. I don't
think he was preparing for a championship fight.
No, if he had went into it and there was a belt on the line,
if he was fighting Wilder,
he probably would have fucking demolished them.
Yeah. I don't think he went into it the way he'd go into it going against Wilder.
No, probably not. He says he did though. If you take him at his word, I mean, he has no reason to lie.
No. Ngannou's a freak of an athlete.
Yeah, it would have been very easy for him to make excuses and say he didn't take him seriously, and he never did any of that.
Plenty of people who thought he lost the fight.
Who, Fury lost the fight? No, he clearly didn't lose the fight.
I didn't think so either.
That's crazy.
But then you have all the like sports and celebrities coming up on Twitter and or X and just saying, "Look, wow, can't believe that decision." It's like, dude, did you really think they were going to give it to him?
Well, listen, if he clearly won it, he would have got it.
He
But
didn't clearly
didn't
win it.
clearly win it. He didn't win it. He
No.
knocked him down. That was,
Shocking, but it's still 9 other
hey,
rounds.
listen, he's a heavyweight, man. Doesn't take much. You get caught.
No, and it's
One
again,
quick little clip.
it's not like
and
he
that's
doesn't
it.
know how to throw a punch either.
Right. No, of course
Like
he does.
he's not a boxer, I get
Right.
that, but he can throw a fucking right.
And Fury's notorious for going down.
Right.
He just always gets back up.
Like the Undertaker.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Does that like flat where he just goes like that.
He has gotten up. I mean, he's undefeated, so he's literally gotten up for every single knockdown in every fight that he's ever gotten knocked down and won the fight.
Was that Wilder fight where he seriously got up like the Undertaker?
Yeah, he got knocked down twice that fight,
Yeah,
and that was
Wilder
a draw.
killed him. And he just fucking sits up at like the 6 count and stands right up.
He was out. He just, I don't know. I always wonder, like, I want to look into what causes someone to really get knocked out and why some people come to quicker than others.
You pull it up, Doug?
Because he definitely was
Isn't it
out.
similar to a concussion where it's like your brain rattling?
It is. Your brain gets rattled and
Shuts down.
That shuts down.
Like
right.
literally reboots.
Right. But for some reason, like,
What is getting knocked out
some people
scientifically?
are able to withstand it much more than others.
But like Liddell is a perfect example. He used to have that iron chin.
well, I'm talking about after the knockdown. Like once they're
How
down,
they come too quicker.
some people come too quicker, get up and continue to fight, even to the point of winning.
Oh,
like
look at
Fury.
this shit. Read that. A knockout can be characterized by unconsciousness. Little is known as to what exactly causes one to be knocked unconscious, but many agree it's related to trauma to the brain stem.
Right.
This usually happens when the head rotates sharply, often as a result of the strike. Makes sense because when you see that jaw, like when it does that,
Oh yeah, they
it's that
get.
quick, like
Yeah, I'm just curious. Some of them, yeah, some people just take them better. I mean, much better.
Can you click on that? People also ask that first one.
I would actually say it's actually a pretty crazy advantage to have.
to be able to get up quicker and
As
knock
far
the
as
fuck out.
natural advantages go, is an advantage for you.
Yes, unless you're getting the shit kicked out of you by somebody who just keeps knocking you because
No,
you keep getting
right.
up.
Well, I'm saying, but like some of these guys who have these crazy iron jaws or who just have the ability to withstand a knockdown, they come back and win fights a lot. They really do. It's
The
pretty wild.
twisting and pulling of the brain may cause brain circuits to break or lose insulation, and this can shock parts of the
Nothing
brain.
about that sounds like you should
Healthy.
ever experience it more than once in your life, dude.
You ever been knocked out?
I got knocked out once, yeah.
Once.
I got hit with a 40 bottle.
Was it Mickey's?
Nah, some guy, we were fighting in New Rochelle, and some guy just came out from behind a fucking car with a bottle in his hand. I didn't see him before or after. And somebody tried to warn me actually by beeping their horn. I found out later, like I'm going to look behind me and someone beeping my horn in the middle of a fight. And yeah, dude, I didn't even feel it. It was just, I was lights out.
Yeah, and you just come
I
to.
woke up on the floor. That was it. So I didn't even know it happened.
I've been stunned. Like I've been popped in the jaw, but I've never been
I
knocked.
think I'd rather be not. I don't know. Well, you don't know when it happens pretty much. It happens so fast.
Yeah.
You're there.
I saw a video. A guy got knocked out so hard. It was like an amateur boxing match. He gets knocked the fuck out, and then he fell through the rope.
Right.
But he landed on like the outside of the ring. So like he didn't land on the floor. He landed on the mat on the outside of the thing.
Right.
And it was weird because like there was like a catwalk essentially that came right up flush to the ring. So, like in boxing, you have to jump up to the ring.
Right.
This catwalk was like flush with the ring. So he gets knocked the fuck out, kind of lands between the outside of the mat and like the catwalk,
Right.
starts putting his hands up like he's coming out for the fight. Meanwhile, he was like 6 rounds into the fight, just got knocked the fuck out, but he got hit so hard he didn't know where he
He didn't
was.
know where- oh, yeah,
he
he
thought he
forgot.
was coming out for the fight.
Yeah, they
with his
lose
hands up.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these guys talk about it. They don't even remember the ring walk out, the ambulance ride, nothing.
That long?
Yeah, some of them start coming to like in the hospital. I mean, they come to, like you see that they're
But,
awake, they're blacked out. They're in like blackout mode though.
Right.
They don't have any recollection.
Yeah.
Of,
They're physically there, but
right.
mentally they're checked
Right.
out.
Their senses are done. But yeah, like I said, when I read that, there's nothing about how that's worded. Like I said, it makes me feel you should ever want to go through that more than once in your life.
Well, concussions, I mean, you see all the studies reports on CTE, how it's like it's a problem, man. Even now they're saying with soccer players with all the heading they do. Like, dude, there's nothing healthy about constantly rattling your brain.
No, not at all. I mean, that's why these guys get Yeah, punch drunk.
What is that? Post-traumatic amnesia. God damn. Even a mild brain injury, which could be a result of a knockout, your post-traumatic amnesia could be
Up to 1 hour. Which makes sense because, like I said, a lot of these guys talk about the loss of time for at least that period of time.
Yeah, but when these guys get knocked out, they go right to the hospital, no?
Yeah, they do.
Like
they
if you're
get
knocked
carted
out,
off, yeah.
you're not
And
going
then
to
they
the
go through, I think they're,
MRIs and CT scans, all that shit.
no, there's a time period, I think 4 months where they're suspended from
They can't go back in.
no training, nothing. They can't do anything. They have to take time off. It's either 3 or 4 months, I think. So they can't go into the gym and train, no sparring, nothing. There's a recovery period once you suffer a knockout.
You think it goes up the more you get knocked out?
Do I think what?
It goes up the more you get knocked out.
The recovery period?
Yeah.
No, the recovery period is the same.
It's a
as
flat
far
4
as-
months or whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever their time frame set. But you do start to get knocked out more easily after every time you get knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to us saying with Liddell.
Right.
In the beginning, he had a fucking iron chin. And at the end of his career, he was Mr. Glass. And I remember there was Dana White talking to him. Dana White's talked about this on podcasts where he's like, told him, like, I can't let you fight anymore. Like, you're a liability, not to me, to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got a family, you got kids, and you can't do this, dude.
Well, these guys are too tough. I mean, some of them are too tough for their own good.
Yeah.
But it's what they do for their life. Imagine having to give up your life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's tough.
Like-
I don't think it's, it's not that they want to endure the pain.
No, but
Or-
it's all you know.
It's all you know,
love doing
right? And you love it. It's a
Yeah.
passion. Imagine having to, retire from something before you wanted to, or
KO knockout, minimum of 45 days to 90 days medical recovery. I wonder if that's boxing or UFC.
I know they have something set for the sports.
I'm sure they have different rules, though, right?
I
Based
think,
on the guidelines for that. I wonder if even states
I want to
have
say they're
different
governed by
guidelines.
the same body, boxing and the UFC. I don't know that for sure, but I believe they are.
But they have
So-
different judges, right?
I think they come from the same judging pool too.
They can judge
Some
both.
of them do. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I would have thought that that's where they came from originally because they would have needed judges with some kind of knowledge on fighting, period, to start the sport.
to know what to actually look for.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine that they were just training them from zero, but they probably are now. They're so far advanced from where they started.
Yeah, it makes you more like
Right. Every time all right. And that makes sense.
repeated concussions can lead to permanent brain changes. Yeah, dude, there's no way that shit is anything but horrible for you.
No. It's,
Google,
Well,
can you
listen.
Google this? Can you Google what is the most dangerous sport? Would you think? I'd say
I would say
UFC over boxing.
for sure.
The gloves, dude. The
The
fucking
gloves-
kicks, the strikes, the
I-
knees,
I
the
don't know how true
elbows.
this is, but I once heard that the gloves are really just there to protect the guys from breaking their hands.
But you've also seen those crazy sports
Right.
that they have like in Kazakhstan. Like there's some wacky fucking sports out there. Street lugeing. I mean, like, dude, like American football's 14, rugby
You know
is
what's
13.
wild is who was never the same. It's amazing how some fighters lose certain fights and they're never the same after it. Look at like Dominic Reyes fought John Jones. What a fight. Gave John Jones probably the hardest fight of his entire career. Most people thought he won the fight. I don't personally think he won the fight, but it was definitely up for grabs. And the guy has not won a single fight since.
How long
Not
ago
only
was
has he
that?
not won them, he gets destroyed, knocked out every time. I mean, he's literally changed his whole life. It was out. It's unbelievable.
Was it Joan Javon Gustafson?
Gustafson.
That was like going on
Those were good
89.
fight.
The first one,
First one was a
like
great
where
fight.
they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. It's funny. John Jones said he was out drinking all night the night before. He still came in and did that.
He's from Newark,
Isn't
right?
that fucking wild, dude? John Jones, I believe so. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Number one most dangerous sport, base jumping. That's
I
fair.
didn't even know that was considered a sport, but yeah, that would make sense.
Can you go off for me, Doug? I want to see what the other ones are. The rugby, UFC was number 10, or MMA. High altitude mountaineering. Are these really sports, though? Wingsuit flying. Those are more like insane hobbies.
Skydiving is what, number 2?
Or rock climbing, 5.
Oh, free rock climbing. Yeah, that's wild.
Boxing over MMA. You know why I'd probably say boxing over MMA? Because the amount of strikes at land.
Right.
Even if they're not as powerful,
Because they're fighting for a long period of time.
yeah,
Right.
and the consistency and the amount of strikes that you take on average. Like, how many punches do you think a boxer throws to the head versus a UFC fighter in the head per match? Plus, I feel like boxers have 70, 80 matches. And I'm
Well, yeah, it's not
using
just, it's
hyperbole,
also
but-
typically they have a big amateur careers. So they could rack up 40, 50 fights in an amateur career
without
before they even touch the pros. Right.
UFC is not
Yeah.
like that.
Look at Ruiz, Andy Ruiz. The guy
was the one who walked
he beat
Joshua.
Yeah, he beat Anthony Joshua. He had something like 110 amateur fights. Some fucking ridiculous number.
We go up, little Doug. The 5. So the first 5 I would say are crazy rich people hobbies. Motocross, motorbike, right? I mean, these are all things.
I'll just go to number. I just want to see what number 1 is.
Number 1's base jumping.
It was base jumping.
Yeah. Which is batshit crazy.
I think the free rock climbing is, I would think that'd be more dangerous than anything. You're literally not harnessed into anything. One fucking slip and you're done.
Ever watch any of those documentaries?
Oh, that's a pretty cool fact though. Did you know that this guy, Tom Cruise, man, he's a wild guy. He did a free rock climbing scene in, you ever see the second Mission Impossible?
No, you put me on to the last one.
You got to see the scene. So basically he's rock climbing with nothing.
And it's really him.
And he's really him doing it. He's an adrenaline junkie, dude. He scaled. He also did the, in Ghost Protocol, he scaled the building in Abu Dhabi.
The Burj Khalifa?
The tallest building in the world.
Yeah, the Burj.
Yeah, he did that.
He scaled it because he's fucking...
He likes to do the stunts himself. He's a maniac, dude.
He did the motorcycle off the cliff.
The motorcycle off the cliff. Yep. They show you the whole thing he did.
And then he just throws the fucking parachute.
The plane. You remember the scene where he's hanging off the side of the plane?
That was really him.
That was really him.
And there was no wires, right?
Yeah,
was there wires?
They have to have wires. Yeah,
I'm sure. You know how hard he is to insure.
He said that. I think I got to remember. I don't remember exactly what he said. He said, but that I think was one of the moments where he had an instant regret
when he was on the side of the plane.
Yeah, because he said he didn't expect
the words wires. And they see you just holding on to the side.
He didn't expect the force to hit him the way that it did.
Yeah,
I mean, how could you? Who the fuck does that? How would you ever know?
Yeah, I guess it's hard to. Insuring Tom Cruise. Butler said Cruise's risky exploits likely require additional insurance that only specialty carriers like Lloyd's of London will provide, and it can be 5 to 20% of the policy limits and required deductible of up to 10%. Shit.
So it's potentially $20 million deductible for $200 million film.
So if he's making a $300 million film.
So he's got to pay $20 million, the first $20 million of any claim.
To insure.
Well, let's put it this way. First off, he's not paying anything because if that policy ever gets collected on it, it means he's dead.
That's the thing about insurance.
That's life insurance.
Yeah.
That's not personal injury insurance. That's if he dies. Any one of those stunts he was doing. Like, I swear I could literally probably do, if you taught me, like if you said you can do it, like we'll harness you, like whatever, I would do the building. I would do it. I would do the motorcycle off the cliff happily. The one
You're
thing
full of shit.
I swear I would, but I'll tell you which one I wouldn't do. I would not be free rock climbing that high up, not a fucking harness on me. That's the one that would make me nervous.
I trip upstairs. You think I'm climbing a mountain?
No, that one I wouldn't do because he free climbs. Free climbing means you're not strapped into anything.
It means you're just dogging the side of a rock.
Right. That I would not do.
Fingertips all ashy and shit.
No, but if you tell me, hey, you're going to be harnessed, we're going to put you on the side of this plane, or you're going to be harnessed where you're going to just climb a couple of stories on this building, I would easily.
Have you ever been skydiving?
No, I have not. I would though.
I would too. Right. Maybe we'll do that for a podcast episode.
Yeah, skydive.
Yeah, we'll see. We do like 2 minutes in the air.
Joe Rogan just shot an arrow at Tesla Cybertruck.
I wouldn't even talk about that. I want a Cybertruck so bad.
At 60,000. Told you, why not?
Started rolling out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
November 30th it was. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Tom Cruise he's pretty wild.
I was watching Bill Hader. He was talking about Tropic Thunder because he was in that movie with Tom Cruise. And they said, what was it like on set? And they said he is the nicest, like the energy is real. It's all like, how you doing?
Right.
But they said he is very generous with his time. Was giving him advice the entire time. And he said it was weird because you're sitting down between takes with this guy, and you remember in Tropic Thunder, he's dressed like Les Grossman. So he's got like the hairy arms and hands, and he's like,
fuck yourself.
all balding and shit. And he said he had to like kind of stop and realize, like, I'm talking to Tom fucking Cruise, who's dressed like Les.
Great character. He created that character, I heard, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a big get for Tropic Thunder, man.
He had a real Oh yeah, for sure.
Like that's
and what a great part.
Man, you got great actors in. You had Robert Downey Jr., Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah, it's
I mean, you
A-listers.
had, yeah, you had a
all the
bunch of
way.
A-listers. Matthew
Jack
McConaughey,
Black.
Jack Black. There's a bunch of A-listers in there, but Tom Cruise stole that.
He's like, I want you to stick your head up your ass and literally go fuck yourself.
Always drinking the Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was.
It's a great fucking movie.
Oh, the best scene was with Robert Downey Jr. I always forget the guy's name that was the co-star with him.
Al Pacino.
He played the character
Yeah.
Al Pacino. I guess he was addressing Robert Downey Jr.'s character and he used the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
So Robert Downey Jr. grabs and he goes, for 400 years, that word has been holding our people back.
Did you see
And his face, he goes, what the fuck?
They had Robert Downey Jr. was on Rogan's podcast, and they were like, you know, like, what made you like think this would be okay? He goes, he's like, this was before like the cancel. Not that blackface is ever okay. It's like, but
Right.
this is where like, you know, it was a parody of doing that. But he said it got so overlooked because of Ben Stiller's character, Simple Jack.
Oh, he got more heat for Simple Jack.
So he
I
said
know.
no one was really paying attention to him, essentially doing blackface throughout the entire movie as an Australian actor. A white man playing an Australian actor playing a black man. Like
Right.
that was the running joke.
Right.
Like that is the joke of
Right.
the movie.
Absolutely.
He's not Robert Downey
Either of
Jr.
those
He's an
things.
Australian actor,
Right.
5-time Academy. So, but they said, yeah, Simple Jack took all the heat.
It's so funny because that was such a small portion of the movie. It really was. It was just like a real
snippet
quick
that they referenced
snippet
once.
referencing a bad movie that he did
Yeah.
as an actor. And that was it.
Oh,
And people
but
hated it.
The dialogue between Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. was like, you never go full R word.
You never, right.
And he's like, look at Sean Penn.
Simple Jack. I mean,
It's so
but the
stupid.
crazy thing is, like, what people missed about that is they made that scene like intentionally that bad,
Yes.
like that exaggerated to
That's
show
the-
what a horrible
Yes.
actor he was. He wasn't really trying to play a handicapped individual.
No, he's a horrible actor.
Right. He was a horrible
He's an
actor doing
action
a
star.
horrible impression of a handicapped person.
The whole movie is a running joke.
It is. If you don't like that movie, you're crazy. If you have anything bad to say about it, you're wild.
And then you
You
had
just don't have a sense of humor.
Jack Black with like the fatties, where he was doing like the Eddie
Oh,
Murphy playing all the
The
characters.
best thing was when he fell into the pile of heroin.
Oh, it's just gotta go back get my vitamins. My skin itches.
It was wild, though, man.
And then Al Pacino's gay the whole time.
Al Pacino's gay the whole time.
And then you had he's engaged or in love with Lance Bass. And then you had I can't remember this kid. Oh, Jay Barenthal. Is it Jay Barenthal? Yeah, Jay. I think that's his last
I
name.
love Jack Black. Look at him. Look at that face right there. Says it all, dude.
I would love to have a beer with Jack Black.
They have an outtake of that scene right there when he was riding on the back of the bull or some shit, and it kicked him off. I could go back and watch this movie. On
I think his
repeat.
mom worked at NASA.
Who, Jack Black's? Really?
Yeah.
I think we need to fact check that.
Let's fact check that.
Doug, you're up.
Shine, baby. Like she was very important.
Engineer. Missiles.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, for the Hubble telescope. Look at that.
And the Apollo space program.
Wow.
Isn't that
Who would have
nuts,
thought?
right?
Who would have thought?
Judith
Now,
Love Cohen.
Talk about taking two totally different paths in life.
Yeah. Jack Black seems like the coolest guy in the world, though.
He is. He seems like he is. Based on his interviews and everything else I've seen, he seems pretty cool.
I was in middle school, I think, when Tenacious D came out.
Yeah.
Or early high school. I love Tenacious D.
I love everything he's in.
I mean, Kyle Gass.
Was it Jack Black in Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
What's Jack Black? Oh, what a great movie. That movie is fucking
Now,
hilarious.
you can't make that today.
Oh, it's the best.
Can't make it today.
The absolute best.
Or Toe. We talked about that.
Oh, the toe.
Yeah.
The toe.
We talked about that.
With, who was it?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, Gwyneth Paltrow. Was
Goop.
gorgeous. Who was the, George
That was
Costanza. Costanza. I still don't know his real name.
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander. There you go.
Good movie.
It was great. great. I think that was her actually. They actually dressed Gwyneth Paltrow up in that suit.
On the fat suit?
In the fat suit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that shit today. That's like...
Why, you remember Big Mama's House?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. What a great movie.
Big Mama's House was a funny movie.
What was it? The Nutty Professor?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
The young Dave Chappelle.
They don't give those guys enough credit to
Eddie.
play all those characters the way that they do.
What was that his name? Eddie? Chappelle's character when you're doing the stand-up?
What was it?
And he smashes his head in the piano. Spandex!
No, I remember. Yeah. But yeah, the amount of makeup change these guys have to go through for a movie like that.
You remember The Grinch with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Where he like wanted to quit and they had to bring in like legit and fact check this so I don't come off like a fucking idiot. Like a SEAL team member to coach him through mental toughness because he was in the chair like 8 hours every day doing makeup and he's like, I can't do this anymore. Like wanted to quit mid-production.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be fucking, it's just tedious. And yeah. I mean, look at what's his name. What's his name hated it too. From Guardians of the Galaxy.
A CIA agent. To withstand torture.
Wait, so they brought in a guy, trained CIA operative, withstands torture. What Carrie adds. He and the CIA agent were locked in a room and he was taught how to control his thoughts, avoid pain and discomfort.
Isn't that fucking nuts?
How fucking dramatic, dude.
I don't know, dude. Could you think about, listen.
You know what it is? I'm a very patient person. So yeah, could I sit in a chair for 8 hours? I could. Would it be
annoying?
paid
$20 million?
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Yeah, if you're paying me $20 million, I'll fucking stand in stress positions 8 hours a day if you want me to.
I will do a split for you right now. And
you can waterboard me every fucking day for an hour for $20 million.
Yeah.
Okay?
With the nails in your fucking fingertips.
You ever hear of Chinese water torture? They just drop.
Oh, the droplets, right?
You can do it for me for a full day. Just give me $20 million. No problem.
If they brought it in, I guess they felt that it was warranted or needed. But at the end of the day, and I love Jim Carrey.
It's like, dude, he used to live in a car.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
A van.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you went through much tougher.
Dude, the amount that I quoted,
problems.
I think I told you this. I might have said it on the podcast. The amount of times I quoted The Mask and Ace Ventura and even Dumb and Dumber, because I think they came out 93, 94, and 94.
Right.
Like, my mother should have murdered me.
They were great films. They're iconic films, man.
This hurts me more than it hurts you. Like that kind of. But you're just sitting there getting makeup for 8 hours. Like, well, what do you really do?
I don't know. You know what it is? I feel like, listen, I don't want to be insulting, but I mean, it's like, I feel like some of these guys start to lose perspective on like what it is to be going through something that's tough. Like, I mean, seriously, the idea of wanting to quit something that you're being paid $20 million for because you find it scrutinizing this in a chair for 8 hours a day.
What about the person who has to apply the makeup to you?
Fucking outrageous to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or the person that has to stand for that 8 hours and put it on you. Like, and you're making $20 million and she's probably making
40K,
maybe 40K for the movie.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know.
You know, and then they pay to bring in a mental toughness coach for you.
Dumb and Dumber is one of the funniest movies ever.
Oh, it's great. Jeff Daniels is amazing.
Dude. And he was like a legitimate actor at that point.
Oh, yeah, he's
Purple
great.
Rose of Cairo. Like, he had done some serious movies.
I loved him in Newsroom. You ever watch Newsroom?
First season, like most things, I fucking loved it and just stopped watching. I'll probably restart it. It was HBO, right?
Yeah, 3 seasons.
I love Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn's awesome. She is. Jessica Chastain's still my favorite, though.
That's your girl.
That is my girl.
That's your boo-boo.
That I told you. Meeting Jessica Chastain for me would be like, I told you.
Selling bottled thoughts.
No. Like, I would imagine it would feel something like Neil Armstrong going on to the moon. That first step, that's what it would feel like for me to meet Jessica Chastain.
Would you get starstruck?
With her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You'd be like,
yeah. And I don't typically consider myself a starstruck person, but yeah, for sure. She's definitely, yeah, there she is. So Jessica, if you're listening to this, feel free to come on anytime. Love to have you. Got plenty of questions for you.
She is not ugly.
She's gorgeous.
Fucking love redheads.
She's stunning. Jessica Chastain is probably one of the most beautiful women in the world. Hands down. Yeah.
One day.
One can only wish.
One day.
All right. So I think that's it for the day.
First episode together in the studio.
New studio.
Yeah.
Moving on up, as the Jeffersons say. Is that what it was from, the Jeffersons?
Yeah, moving on up.
Moving on up.
George Jefferson.
That's it. I'm still an Archie Bunker fan.
You would be.
Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Oh, boy. All right. So that's it, guys. Remember, check us out on IG at notfornothing.podcast. Check us out on TikTok at Not For Nothing Podcast. And you can check out all episodes in full every Tuesday at 5 a.m. on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Later, bro.
Later.